Right now, there are 5 checks sitting on a government list with your name already eligible for them. And the moment you turn 65, that list starts working against you if you do not open it first. Last month alone, a woman in Ohio found out she had been overpaying for 2 years on something that should have cost her almost nothing, all because nobody told her to look at this list before her birthday came and went. Her story is not rare. It happens to thousands of people every single year, and most of them never even realize what they missed until a bill shows up that is far higher than it should be. Some people find out from a neighbor. Some find out from a pharmacist who happens to mention it in passing, and some never find out at all. They just keep paying more than they need to for years without ever knowing there was another option. I am going to walk you through all 5 of these in order, and the third one is the reason most people end up in this situation in the first place. So stay through that part especially, because it changes how you look at everything else on this list. The first thing on this list is a short enrollment window that opens the moment you turn 65. During this window, you cannot be turned away or charged extra because of past health issues. It does not matter what conditions you have had in the past, what medications you are on, or what your medical history looks like. For a limited number of months, you are protected, and insurance providers have to treat you the same as anyone else your age, regardless of what is in your file. This window closes fast, and once it does, insurers are legally allowed to price you based on your history, which can mean paying far more for the exact same coverage you could have locked in earlier for a fraction of the cost. Most people do not even know this window exists until someone mentions it after the fact, and by then, the cheaper options are already gone. What makes this worse is that nobody sends you
a reminder. There is no letter that arrives on your birthday telling you that the clock has started. You are simply expected to know, and if you do not, the responsibility falls entirely on you to have found out in time. The second thing is a cost assistance program that a lot of people skip because they assume the income limits are too low for them to qualify. This is one of the most common mistakes people make because they hear the word assistance and immediately think it does not apply to them, that it is only for people in serious financial hardship. But the actual limits are higher than most expect, and if you fall inside them, your monthly costs can drop dramatically, sometimes down to almost nothing. Every year, thousands of people who would have qualified never even apply, simply because nobody encouraged them to check, and they assumed the answer would be no before they even asked the question. It takes a few minutes to find out where you stand, one short conversation, or one form, and that alone could save you hundreds of dollars every single month for the rest of the year. Think about what that adds up to over 5 years or 10. It is not a small amount, and yet most people never even look into it because they talk themselves out of trying before they start. Here is the third one, and this is the big one I mentioned earlier. Standard coverage at 65 does not automatically include dental, vision, or hearing. A lot of people assume that once they are covered, everything is included, but that is simply not how it works, and this is the assumption that costs people the most money. People find this out only after they are already sitting in a dentist chair, or after they need a hearing aid, or after an eye exam turns into a bill they were not expecting. This is the moment where people lose the most money, because these costs add up fast, and without the right plan in place, every visit comes straight out of your own pocket. A single hearing aid can cost more than most people expect to pay in an entire year for healthcare. And dental work, especially anything beyond a basic cleaning, can run into the thousands. Checking this ahead of time, before you ever need it, can mean the difference between paying for all of it yourself or having most of it handled for you. This is exactly the kind of thing that seems small until you actually need it, and then suddenly it is the biggest expense on your list, arriving at the worst possible time, when you are least prepared for it. The fourth thing is help with prescription costs that almost nobody asks about at the pharmacy counter. Most people simply pay whatever the price is that month without realizing there is a program built specifically to bring that number down. They stand at the counter, hand over their card, and pay whatever number comes up, assuming that is just the cost of getting older. Depending on your situation, this program can turn a full-price prescription bill into a small flat payment every single month, sometimes just a few dollars instead of the full cost. For anyone taking regular medication, and most people at this age are taking at least one prescription regularly, this adds up to real savings over the course of a year, savings that compound month after month without you having to do anything differently except ask the right question at the right time. And yet, very few people ever ask their pharmacist or provider if they qualify. It is one of those things that exists quietly in the background, available the whole time, just waiting for someone to ask about it.
and most people never do, simply because nobody told them it was there to begin with. The fifth thing has a deadline attached to it, and missing it is what people regret the most. Every year, there is a specific window to enroll or make changes to your coverage, and if you miss it, you could be stuck waiting close to a year for another chance to fix anything. That means if you end up on the
wrong plan or missing coverage you actually needed, you could be paying more than you should for months on end, with no way to change it until the next window opens. Imagine realizing in month 2 that you picked the wrong option, that it does not cover what you actually need, and then being told you have to wait 10 more months before you can do anything about it. This is the one that catches people off guard the most, because they assume they can make changes whenever they want, the way you might switch a phone plan or a streaming subscription, and they find out too late that the deadline already passed, and now they are locked in for months with a decision they wish they could take back. So before you pay your next bill, take a few minutes and check where you actually stand on these 5 things. It does not take long: one phone call, one short form, a quick conversation with someone who knows the details, and the difference it can make to what you pay every month is significant. A lot of people wait until something goes wrong, until a bill arrives that they were not expecting, until they are already sitting in that dentist chair or standing at that pharmacy counter, and by then it is much harder to fix. The options narrow, the windows close, and you are left working with whatever is left instead of what could have been available if you had checked earlier. But if you take the time now, while you still have the window open, while nothing has gone wrong yet, and you still have every option on the table, you put yourself in a much stronger position than most people your age ever get to. You stop reacting to bills and start making decisions ahead of them, which is a completely different position to be in. This is not about being told there's a problem you can't fix. This is about the fact that there are 5 very fixable, very findable pieces of information, all sitting there waiting for you, and the only reason most people miss them is because nobody sat them down and walked them through it one at a time, clearly, without the confusing paperwork and the fine print designed to make your head spin. That is exactly what I have tried to do here. And if this helped you even a little, stick around, because there's one more piece that connects all 5 of these together, something that ties the entire picture into place, something most people never think to ask about until it is already too late. And it is the part that almost everyone watching this ends up missing completely.